Hi, family. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Jasmine 365. It is January 1st as I'm recording this episode. So, first, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I have quite a few episodes planned out, like quite a few um, scriptures that I've kind of dove into or things I've been working on throughout all of 2025. And I didn't really know how to start this new year. The episodes, An Invitation to an Abundant Life, part one, two, and three, were all recorded in 2025. They're just, being released. So I believe the first Tuesday you'll see part two to that series. But I didn't know what to start the new year with, guys. It was just like, what am I about to talk about? I told you this is all him. This is none of me. So I always have to ask the Holy Spirit, like, what am I saying? What am I talking about? What word do you have excuse me, for me to give to your sheep, to your flock, to your people, to those that are trying to have a relationship with you, growing their relationship with you, just curious about you. So I keep hearing about kingdom marriages um, for this year. I don't know who's getting married, who's gearing up to get married, who he's just bringing up that desire for marriage, whose marriage he's about to start healing and moving in or moving through. I don't know, but I keep getting those message about kingdom marriages, not for the sake of just being together, not for the sake of just being happy, but for the kingdom, for his glory, to show him throughout our lives. And covenant marriage is a covenant between God, a husband, and a wife. So I'm keep hearing, I keep receiving kingdom marriage, kingdom marriage, kingdom marriage, but he'll never have me give you a message without giving you some sort of instructions, standards that his word gives us. So today this is going to be a two-part series too. I know y'all probably like, girl, not you coming out the gate with a part one, part two. Yes, I'm coming out the gate with a part one, part two. This is Proverbs 31 that we will dive in. And it's a part two because I know when a lot of people talk about Proverbs 31, the first thing that comes to your mind is the virtuous woman. Like, everybody, like, I need a Proverbs 31 woman. I am a Proverbs 31 woman, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people skip part one. Like, the first chapter of Proverbs 31 is a mother talking to her grown son. It's a mother's advice talking to her grown son who happens to be a king. Okay? So, um, us being children of God, we are co-heirs with him. So if you didn't know, let me tell you now, you are royalty. You are royalty. I don't care what anybody say, how they try to flip it, you are royalty. Okay. So this is a mother. So mothers can talk to their sons about Proverbs 31. Not just how a woman should be, but who they should be. To be able to spot and discern that type of woman and who you should be, to be able to steward that type of relationship, because men are called to be the head of that household. So if you have that Proverbs 31 woman, you have to know how to handle her. She not the easiest person to handle. You have to have wisdom and discernment to know how to lead her, handle her, guide her, all of that. So we're going to break it down as she tells him the type of man he has to become, the type of man he needs to be so that he could recognize a Proverbs 31 woman. Like, you got to be able to recognize her. You want her, but do you know what she looks like? What do you embody to be able to discern that that's a Proverbs 31 woman? So right now we're talking about a mother teaching her son, her grown son. So yes, I do know sometimes I be telling y'all mothers to let these kids be, or let these grown-ups, let these adults be adults. And that is very true. There are some things that we have to just trust God with. So once your children are grown, you have to trust that God loves them more than you do. He gave them to you. So trust that he is willing and able to take on that task of parenting them as well. But there is some advice that you're really, you want to direct and push them into as well being that you want the best for them too. So we're going to start with Proverbs 31. Of course, y'all know I am in my New King James Bible. I know y'all always probably be hearing my pens and highlighters and everything I stick into this Bible to keep where I'm at drop. But let's get into it. Proverbs 31, verses 1 through 9. The words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. What, my son, and what son of my womb, and what son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the justice of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the speechless, in the cause of all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So that's what she is teaching her son to be, and how to be, the characteristics of a king, and what to stray away from. And I know we heard like, don't give your strength to a woman, Lord. Okay. um, I know we all remember Samson and Delilah. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be cautious of who you are trusting you with. Okay. As a man, you need to be safe and protected as well. She is to protect your heart, and keep you. You're supposed to feel safe with your wife as well. It is not only the woman who's supposed to feel safe in that marriage, in that covenant, in that relationship. Not at all. So men are supposed to feel safe too. We don't like to talk about it because men's like, I am safe and I am. I got brothers, trust me. I know how I go, where it's like, oh, that's soft, or that's whatever, the culture's gonna call it. But no, you're supposed to feel safe. You're supposed to be protected as well. You are. No woman should be, you telling them your secrets or your fears and us throwing it in your face. That's not okay either. So, Lemuel's mother is discerning. She is spiritually wise, emotionally intelligent, and she is bold. Because as a woman, even a mother back in those times, everyone didn't take what we had to say for face value. It was almost as if, be seen and not heard in a lot of parts, of the world at that time. So she sees her son before he fully becomes, you know, like we're becoming 365. So she sees her son and she's helping him become something, because she's like, I want you to have a spirit led life. I want you to have a purposeful life, not just a lot of the times we live in just to live. No, you have a purpose. God has a plan. So we have to be in tune with God Himself for us to know what that plan is, and how to carry it out. So guard your strength. Do not give your strength to a woman, or your ways to those who ruin kings. She's saying, don't let desire distract your destiny. We saw that Samson desired um, Delilah. I almost called her Jezebel, but some spirits be roaming. Samson desired Delilah, and here she was, if you see it, time and time again, asking him what makes him strong, and what's his weakness, and he was lying to her. And every time he told her something, here comes an attack. But because he lied, that attack didn't work until he actually told her the truth. And it was like, Samson, come on now, you got to be brighter than that, big dog. But desire. At times where the desire is high, the discernment is low. So we have to surrender our desires to God. Let Him decide what desires we are aligned with, the desires He has for our life. Every desire you have is not in alignment with the desire God has for you. So we have to surrender those desires. Men, surrender those desires. Women too, but we on the men right now. We're gonna get to the women in part two. Don't chase relationships that drain your purpose. Don't attach to people who pull you away from God. Um, I know that women can be very manipulative. We are some bright creatures. Okay. It's not always men that are pulling women from God. You have women that pull men from God too. Even women that are um aligned with God, or let me say this, believing in God, because you can believe in God and not be aligned with his will for your life. So even women that believe in God, you got women that fully believe in Jesus that's in church leading deacons away and pastors away. And they should know better too. Yes, that's why we talking about the men first, because you are the head of the household. But at the same time, it's promiscuous women out there. Jezebel spirits still roam around and they look to devour. So do not attach yourself to people who pull away. This whole um scripture, like this whole part of the first part of the chapter, it's about discipline, self-control, and purpose alignment. Because let's be honest, y'all, one wrong relationship can take years of your life. Years of your life. Years. I tell people all the time at this point, I'm not dating for a long time. Like I don't see that for me. Um, I've said before I practice celibacy. So giving my body is not a like that's not a part of the dating plan. Like that's not an option that you have on it. It's not on the table as we date. So I have a friend that's like, well, and I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. Like this is a safe space. I'm gonna keep it 100 with the conversations that I have because I know I'm not the only one having these type of conversations. And my friend is like, okay, well, he won't be sleeping with you, but he'll be sleeping with somebody. And I had to draw back and I said, not the guy, not the man, not the king. God has ordained and destined for me, not the husband, the leader that God is preparing for me as he's preparing me for him. So you have to know who you are in Christ. He's not leading me, to that. Um, because here I am, being trained. It's men out here that are celibate as well, that know that it's an exchange when you have sex. I've had sex before and I've went into it feeling, you know, lighthearted and positive and happy and calm and peaceful, and I left feeling confused, heavy, worn down, because there was an exchange there. And so sometimes people don't want you just for sex. Sex comes a dime a dozen in today's culture. Plenty of women and men are willing to give it for no cost at all, but it's an exchange there. Now all of a sudden you carrying demons and they have access to you because you've allowed somebody access to you. So I don't see me dating for a long time because either you know or you don't. I don't feel like you have to date for 5 years for you to know if you want to marry me or not. That's a long time. But I'm also a part of the few that is dating with intention and purpose. I don't want to date just for the sake of dating. I don't want a man to ask me on a date just because he's like, "Oh, I think you're pretty," or "Oh, you pretty cool." You know what I'm saying? I want him intentional. What are you looking for? What do you need in a wife? It's not just what he can bring to a wife. What do you need from a wife as well? So we all know that the wrong relationship can take years of your life and then years to heal sometimes. So you might be wasting your time for 5 years, and I would take another 1 or 2 for you to get over the 5 that you just wasted. So that was her first warning. Um, her second warning was stay sober minded. It is not for kings to drink wine, lest they forget what is decreed. So a lot of the times, because kings used to be smacked, okay, you got to remember back in those times, like it was feasting, feasting. So they had cupbearers. Like wines are not getting up to pour their own wine. They have people drinking the wine first to make sure it's not poison in there. So that if it's poison in their wine, that servant's going to drop first or the cupbearer is going to drop first, so that the king know, don't even touch that wine. So and feast then will go on for days. Okay, this ain't your little kickback. See, you think you turned up. These would last for days. Days feasting, wine, strong drink, which is that Hennessy you love. Okay, that tequila you love, vodka, whatever, whatever, gin, whatever your desire is, or whatever your choice of drink is. Days of drinking it, partying, women, like this is what they were doing. And she's saying, because those are the moments you're vulnerable. You letting your guards down. These are people you've invited into your kingdom. And it's usually those that are close to you, that you trust, that are making decisions on your behalf, that do not serve you. Or better yet, let me say, do not serve God's purpose, God's plan, God's will. And because you lit, you ain't even thinking, how many times have you allowed somebody around you done something that you would not normally do because you are intoxicated, versus if you were sober minded. Some of y'all was made off those type of nights. It's okay. That's just real. Some of y'all have made some people off those type of nights. So we not gonna pretend like we don't know what's going on here. She is saying, stay alert, clear thinking, emotionally stable, spiritually sensitive, responsible. We have responsibilities. So a distracted man cannot lead well. A numb man cannot hear God. An unstable man cannot steward influence. You are assigned to things. People are assigned to you. How are you stewarding what God puts in your hand if you're steady under the influence? So she's telling him, you can't escape your calling by escaping reality. Because let's be real, excuse me, you have some people that drink in celebration. You're feasting, it's a wedding, anniversaries, things like that come up. I am realistic. Um, and you have a lot of people that drink to escape. Had a hard day at work, kids getting on your nerves, might have gotten laid off. The business is not running how you thought it was supposed to run. You just turned 30, 35, 40, whatever the case may be, and you thought you would be somewhere else and you're not. You're trying to escape reality. And to escape reality, you are escaping the responsibility that God has placed over your life. That's just what it is. So she's saying, don't do that. Stay sober mind. Stay sober minded. Her third charge, say it that way, is to use your voice for good. Speak up for the needy, defend the poor, uphold justice. So what she's teaching him is that a godly man protects the vulnerable, defends the oppressed, advocates for the weak, uses his strength to lift, not to dominate. You already have dominion. Most people, I was watching at the salon watching a show, um and he kept saying, I'm a grown A man. And the guy said, when they were done, because he really was throwing a tantrum, this guy was. And so when they were done, he was talking to his boss, the owner of a basketball team. I think it was Survivor's Remorse. I was watching. So he's the owner of the basketball team who is white. And he's the star basketball player who is black. And he felt like he was being sunned, because he called him over like this. And so the owner of the team was like, that's how I communicate. Like, I grew up where if you want to get somebody's attention, you wave them over. He said, I had people I wanted you to meet that would take you somewhere, outside of just playing basketball. Because at this point, basketball is a limited time. You got X amount of years to make money, good money off playing basketball. And then you have the rest of your life ahead of you. So he's like, I was calling you over for you to come and be able to have a plan after this. And he kind of humbled him a little bit, because he's like, you're not even communicating with me, you're just assuming, and you're getting defensive. And so he was like, and I know you're a grown man, stop saying it, because usually when you have to say it, you're not exempling it. I don't even know if that's a word. Sometimes, y'all, I think I'm gonna say stuff that's not fully a word, but I might think it's a word, or might use it wrong, I don't know. But he was not an example of the fact that he was a grown man. He had to tell him, I'm a grown man. So he's like, if I have to tell you I'm nice, or I'm kind, I'm sweet, I'm probably not showing up every day like that. To where I have to tell you or remind you like that I'm nice, or that I'm a good person, quote unquote, because we all think we're good people. Um, Sometimes we don't show up that way. So he was like, you shouldn't have to say it. So a Proverb 31 man is humble. He's compassionate. He's responsible. He's just, and he has a servant's heart, because we were put here to serve. Even when we have dominion, we're stewarding, we're serving a purpose. We're always here to serve God's purpose. So we should always have a servant's heart. A mother is shaping a king, not a boy. That's pretty much what she's saying. I'm shaping a king, not a boy. You don't get to show up in the world as a boy because your purpose is too big. Your purpose is too big. So, for my mothers, when we are talking to our sons, start talking to a king. And I know sometimes that's not what they showing us. It's not. I got brothers, I got cousins, I got friends, I got nephews. Okay. Sometimes that's not what they're showing us. But we also have to allow them the time to grow into who that is. But we have to teach them what that is too. We have to. And this, I love that it's coming from a mother, because we as women want to feel protected by that king that is going to reign over our household. We have the king, who is Jesus Christ, but he's going to choose a representative of his to come and lead that house on this earth. I want to feel safe by him. I want to feel protected by him. I want to feel loved by him. That starts with the mother's direction. So this is to those mothers who are bitter and still heartbroken and triggered, maybe by their own father, the father of that child, um, any other man. Don't take that out and speak that over the life of this young king. Teach him better. That's like, teach him better. So a Proverbs 31 woman does not thrive under an immature man. And that's what we all want. We want to be Proverbs 31 women, but I want a Proverbs 31 man. It goes both ways. We're supposed to complement each other, not complete. I'm complete without him because I have Jesus Christ. He completes me. I'm complete without a man, but I would love that compliment so that we can show up in the kingdom in a way I can't show up by myself. You see what I'm saying? It's all for his glory. It's all for his purpose. So she thrives beside a man who has discipline, integrity, sobriety, compassion, leadership, and righteousness. That's what we thrive under. That's who we raising these young men up to be. I don't have children yet, but this is what I speak over the lives of my nephews, over my cousins, over my brothers, all the time. All the time. They don't show us sometimes, and I just be like, Lord, these men that you put in my life are so hard headed and stubborn. And then I have to remember this daughter, me of his, is so hard headed and stubborn. So, no judgment. I can't judge. He be dealing with me. But I intercede and I pray over them all the time with these type of thoughts. I speak these type of things into their lives because I know this is who he created them to be. So in part 2, guys, we're going to break down the virtuous woman. But remember, the wisdom in part one sets the standard for the man who will be able to honor her, to honor her. So even with the marriage, here we go with a heart check. Even when it comes to marriage, I want you to ask this question. One heart check. Do you desire marriage as a covenant that honors and glorifies God? Or do you deserve a marriage because it's what you see on Instagram, TikTok, whatever reality show you watching, your sisters, your friends, your coworkers? Are you in comparison with someone? Or do you feel like God assigned you to be a wife? Because it's not for everyone. Being a mother is not for everyone. Every woman is not going to leave this earth having given birth to children. Or maybe give birth to children but weren't allowed to raise them because they may have passed. We never know each other's stories. But that's your heart check. Pray over your desire for marriage. Because once again, sometimes when your desire is high, your discernment is low. And then you enter into a covenant that He never meant for you. So we have to always surrender our desires to God. That's the whole point, is that we surrender it to God. It's Him that gave me these. I spent a long time trying to push and suppress down what I felt and lying to me like, I don't want no husband, I don't want no kids. Yes, I did. I just didn't feel worthy of them. Didn't see it in the cards for me. Health wise, wasn't sure if I would be able to conceive. So it's a lot of things that the enemy whispers in your ear, and that's just lies, and you believe them for so long. So surrender that desire in prayer. Come to Him. It may take you way longer than one prayer to start really breaking down and getting that clarity that you need, for you to even pull up what you need to give over to God, because you don't know it's there. You're suppressing it. You don't want to speak on it. You're numb to it. So give Him your desires and ask Him to align them with the desires that He has for your life. Because it doesn't matter if I desire it if it's not in alignment with what God said over me. Because when you start praying in alignment, has no choice but to break off you, has no choice but to manifest into this world. Because God honors everything that He put in place. His word cannot come back to Him void. So it's going to happen. Now, sometimes it's a long road there. It's a road that you wasn't expecting there, but it'll happen. So, family, that is today's devotional, beginning of Proverbs 31 with a mother's wisdom to a king. I think that's what I'm going to name this, a mother's wisdom to a king. If this blessed you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody, y'all. Share, 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 share. Talk to me in the comments. How did this bless you? What do you feel? Are you a Proverbs 31 woman? Are you becoming a Proverbs 31 woman? Or did you just find out what a Proverbs 31 woman is? Spin the block, same thing with the man. Are you a Proverbs 31 man? Are you just now finding out what a Proverbs 31 man is? Do you have these type of conversations with your mother? Drop it in the comments. Would you have wanted to have this type of conversation with your mother? Because I am learning our parents' traumas and triggers like raised us, and they did the best they could with the resources that they had. We have so many resources, guys. So drop in a comment, especially men, so women can see, hey, let's talk to our kids about this. It might be uncomfortable at first. Let me tell you, when you were 16, no, you probably didn't want to have that conversation with your mother, but it's necessary. So I love you guys. I am going to pray for you guys, and I will see you next time.